Well, my name is Eduardo Osario Juarez, and I am running for student body president this upcoming elections. So, being in student government has been a very interesting experience thus far. And growing up, I never thought I would ever be part of any college student government or student council. Um, so, my high school experience was so different compared to my college experience now, and I think that's one of the reasons that I'm pursuing a leadership role in college. And my reasons for wanting the students to support me is I want to be an advocate for our communities that are being increasingly attacked by our government officials, right? Our politicians. It's a time where I want to be a representative of our students, even though we do seem like we're a calm campus and nothing really goes on. We have a beautiful campus. It's We have great teachers, excellent programs, but at the same time, some of our students don't feel comfortable coming here. And so far, I've helped with the advocacy for implementing policies that are going to help our students, right? But unfortunately, some of these policies are a little bit too much for our administration. But there are other ways where we can facilitate policies where we're going to make students feel more comfortable at the Santa Rosa Junior College. We've implemented a safe haven policy resolution. Our resolution in student government that I drafted was a sanctuary resolution, right? So it's semantics, like people say, whether you want to call it sanctuary, safe haven. But at the end of the day, we want to implement policies that are going to be effective in the upcoming 4 years where our students feel comfortable coming here. Um, so that's one of the reasons I've gotten to learn the bureaucracy of our student affairs offices. Our entire institution does take a little bit too long to process some of our documents, some of our ideas. Um, that's one of the reasons that I chose this new role. I feel like I do have the experience. I've been working with those individuals in our offices for a year now, and to be a student body president, I believe that you first have to experience it from within and really get to know the players, the key roles of what you can do, what you cannot do, who you can approach, who you cannot approach, um, and what's going to be best for our upcoming 4 years and students. That's one of the reasons I wanted to run for student body president. We definitely do want to help everybody feel comfortable, right? But at the end of the day, there are a few students that are being attacked the most, like myself. As an undocumented student, I run the risk of coming to school, being stopped by a police, being harassed, even being charged, criminalized for any little bit of offense if I try to protect my rights as a student and as a member of society. Fortunately, my DACA has helped me, gain a little bit more confidence, but that may not be here tomorrow. Um, and also with the travel ban, how are we going to help our international students feel safe here, specifically our Muslim community, right? How are we going to facilitate those efforts and tell them, we're an inclusive campus. We're going to accept you all. We're going to protect you from outside government entities. So far, there has not been a big push for implementing policy that's going to prevent anybody coming here and taking me away. Um, just because I'm undocumented, because I'm considered illegal in this country, right? I mean, there are some processes I need to go through, but at the end of the day, we definitely want to make Santa Rosa Junior College a place where we can protect our students from government entities that want to take their rights away from having an excellent education, affordable, affordable education for that matter, and having the college experience that all of us here wanted. Right? I'm pretty sure everybody here wants a college education. Everybody wants to pursue something in their own specific field. So do I. But at the end of the day, I believe more of the documented people in the room have more of an opportunity than I do. Because, like I said, tomorrow I may not be able to continue my education because it may be a risk just even leaving my house. But now, if I do have the college support, I do have this. If I do have the student support, I can definitely make an impact in facilitating those efforts where we can, create a space for students to feel safe, feel comfortable, feel welcome, and overall have a great college experience, because that's the ultimate goal here, right? We're trying to give them the best experience at a community college so they can be ready and prepared for when they move on to a four-year university, and if they want to go that route, because we do have like over 130 certified technical education programs. They can continue that here. What's going to be the next step for me? Well, we do want to collaborate with our campus PD, right? We do want to make the undocumented population feel like these forces are not going to work with outside entities like government officials, like government agencies. We know that Santa Rosa has deported at least one person a day, and it happens here. A lot of the people who come to our Know Your Rights training are getting the amount of support from us, but that's unfortunately that's a small support, because it mostly comes from our um, our EOPS office, our MECHA organizers. So we want to increase this effort. Student government get the support from the administration to hold these conferences, like the conference that was held this past Sunday, where parents actually came in and signed off their kids to sign a paper that would leave their kids in the custody of a residence in the case of them being deported. Like, why is the college not supporting our community like that, right? This These efforts came from a few individuals from MECHA, from EOPS office. So the next step would be using our student government funding to fund these type of events where we actually make a difference in the community college. We're a community college. Why are we not helping our community, right? So that's some of the efforts that I would like to continue with if elected. Being responsible and how to continue to keep up with the responsibilities, um, everything seems to be going well so far. Our meetings go as planned. Our agendas get covered. Um, we do have uh, kind of liaisons with our state representatives. So I do want to, I do like that. I see a good role model in that, where we have to increase our comfort zone and speak to our public officials, as well as our administration here at the campus. Um, Overall, it's just seeing a person that I can relate to, that had some of the similar high school experience, even middle school experiences. It's inspiring, right? Learning a lot from Jordan. Like I said, creating agendas, um, teaching me how to go about our parliamentary procedure, which is always a hassle at the beginning. We always have a little bit of miscommunications with that. Yeah. So we do have an orientation with the student government yearly, and actually I took it upon myself to when I went to General Assembly. This is the state where all of our community colleges meet, our 113 colleges. I took it upon myself to not attend some of the breakout sessions that included, how to create events and do all of that fun activities, student life. I actually took more of the breakout sessions where we learned from one of the best parliamentarians, I would say, in the country, Lorenzo Cuesta. So I took about three of those courses, and I took the entry level exam to becoming a parliamentarian. So I passed that exam. So I feel like I'm getting a lot of knowledge from that, and I bought myself one of those Robert's Rules books. I've been looking it over. I'm trying to get immerse myself in this knowledge. It's very important, when you're running a meeting. You don't want people disrespecting each other, talking over each other. We want to do best practices if elected. Keep it going, keep it smooth, and create a productive environment. But that's how I prepare myself, by really getting into it. I was actually I would have been accepted to their National Association of Parliamentarians, but somehow the test that I passed was misplaced, and at the end I had to contact like their headquarters to see what was going on. I received an email saying you got accepted, but at the end of the day, maybe some paperwork didn't get passed. So I do have a little bit of experience with interclub council from my first semester. I started my entire process of being in extracurricular activities with Mecha and Puente, right? I used to be their ICC reps. From then on, I went on to becoming the vice chair of advocacy committee. It was a cool experience, 2015. Later on, that spring semester of elections came by. Some of my colleagues that were already in student government let me proxy for them, which was a great experience, right? You start to learn about parliamentary procedure, how meetings are run, and how to respect each other's spaces and work with each other. So, like I said, ICC rep, chair of, vice chair of advocacy committee, and then getting the opportunity of being proxy for some of my colleagues already in student government. And right now, being the vice president of marketing um, has gave me more of a overall view on how to go about uh, talking to others, working with others. Unfortunately, our political climate is not the best. So, being myself, being an undocumented student, I definitely wanted to be an advocate for our undocumented community here. So that's why I focus more of my time on helping with that resolution in student government and being an advocate for our student body, specifically with our marginalized communities that usually do not get the attention of others. Um, but I have held some, I think I've listed them all. Uh, Um, so I also want to create some student life events where we bring and we celebrate our culture, right? One thing is just putting on a social and expecting everybody to talk to each other. Um, like we had this Latin dance night that I helped organize. It brought many people from all the communities here on campus together. We had a great dance, great dance instructor. So those are some of the events that I want to continue. Maybe some social events where we actually get people excited about our cultures and get to know our diverse communities. So that's what I want to work toward. That's what I want to work towards. Bringing different parts of our Santa Rosa campus, whether here are are people who will work over at Shorn Farm, or people who work at the public safety training, or people who work at the Southwest Center, or people from the Petaluma campus, or people here in the SRJC campus, to recognize the different communities and to celebrate the culture that we have here on the campus. Being Santa Rosa, a heavy Latino populated community, we don't just have Mexicans here. We have Mexicans. We have people from Oaxaca, Chiapas, other parts of Latin America, Nicaragua, Peru. So we have many communities here on the campus, but a lot of people don't. They might know of it, they might not recognize it, and not even celebrate it. So that's the thing we need to do. We need to recognize and celebrate our cultures. Thank you for that question. That question always gets asked, like, why do you always focus on documented people and Mexicans? And I'm like, I always say, well, you need to realize that before everything, my identity, I self-identify as a Latino, undocumented, um, from Mexico. So that's one of the reasons that I try to be an advocate. We all have our communities that we want to advocate for, right? Well, I hope so. And we do have a large student government, and my slate members, Junior, Shay, and Alexia, who's running for VP of Finance, VP of Advocacy, and VP of Sustainability. They also want to help me with my efforts in, outreaching to all the communities on campus. That's one of the reasons I want to want to host and create some events where we invite everyone on campus, get to talking. And it wouldn't be me working on my own on all these issues, right? We have VPs of sustainability, we have VPs of student health, we have VPs of diversity who will definitely help me in my efforts in addressing those issues. So yes, I do plan on tackling specific issues, but I also plan on working with whoever gets in student government with me, because that's the ideal goal for me. Um, Working with all the senators that are campaigning for student government. Overall, I think that's well. I hope that's the goal for every student body president running, to work with their fellow colleagues running for student government. So I do want to, get a helping hand for my colleagues, left, right. Um, but yeah, I hope that answers your question. Yes, of course. So I also have contacts with the MBOP, who are definitely working with the housing projects. They are going to come to present on Monday. Student government, if y'all would like to be present on measures C, I believe, with the housing issues. Myself, I don't have a lot of knowledge on that, but they offer to meet with me prior to the meeting, so I can, start to learn about what's going on and how we can help facilitate those efforts into helping a rent crisis here in Sonoma County. And other than that, also, learning more about, like I said, taking that step like I am to learn about it first, and then maybe talking to some students who are going through that issue, right? We also want to get their perspective because I can be an advocate, but if I'm not currently living through it, how can I help? You know, so that would be my plan first, talking to our local nonprofit organizations like I am, and figuring out how we can talk to the students who feel comfortable enough with sharing their stories, and seeing how we can get ideas to facilitate those efforts here on the campus. Well, I hope you all support us in also helping us advertise our events. I've noticed that some of the stories have been sort of negative, mostly on the side, although are some of our bellyfuls, our events that we create community, and where we want to bring out the students. We want to bring the students out to have a good time and also enjoy the resources that we have here on the college. That's what I would like to work with you all on. Um, of course, negative stories where we call out people are always going to get some good ratings, but at the end of the day, we also want to recognize the efforts being put forth by the student government, like our community health week that we had, where we brought out students and other specialists in the fields of medicine to talk, where we hold our radical movie nights as well, where we watch a film and then discuss on the politics of it and how we can become more self-aware of what's going on within our community, as well as being more active. So the things I want to do, I want y'all to be with me on that. Help me publicize and create a positive environment. And me being here, uh, I hope that y'all get to know me a little bit more from now on. Actually, we took a class together. Asked me a lot of questions, got to know a little bit about each other. Um, but I haven't really thought of that much. I'm always more focused on how am I going to help the students? How am I going to be a better advocate? How am I going to work on myself to be a better advocate as well? Because with this process, I've seen that I need to work on myself too, in order to create change. Right? Probably last. We're gonna take it back to last semester. How all the elections was going on. All that whole process. Um, I like how y'all got that information out to the students. Right? That we have some controversy going on. Like I said, I do want to focus on some positive events here on campus, but it's also cool that y'all, went out there. We're there through our ad hoc committees where we had conflicts. Um, I would say that's one of my most interesting stories that I've read on your newspaper. My name is Eduardo Osario Juarez, and I'm running for student body president. And the reason I would love your support is I do want to work for the students, with the students. I do not want to separate myself from any students. I do not think I'm better than any students. I am a student myself, first generation. Actually, do not know what's going to be uh, in front of me in the years to come. So it's a totally new experience, and I hope everybody is there to support me, work with me, and approach me if they want to have any issues they want to advocate for. Because overall, we're here for the students, with the students, right? And I really do want to make a difference here. I might be transferring soon, which I never thought it would happen. Being first generation, not knowing how to even navigate myself through college. Um, but yeah, it's just that I really do want to make an impact here, knowing that I have had so many opportunities being here,